Well, well, well. Look who just became untouchable. Look who just discovered their true market value. You beautiful, terrifying force of nature, standing there with $1 million bounty on your head like it's a crown. And you're smiling, aren't you? Because you finally understand what that number really means. They put a price on you. $1 million. That's what they think it costs to erase you. But here's what they didn't calculate, what they couldn't possibly understand in their small transactional minds. The moment they attached that number to your name, they didn't mark you for death. They declared you priceless. You see, when someone puts $1 million hit on you, they're not just saying you're dangerous. They're admitting you're irreplaceable. They're confessing that your existence is so powerful, so transformative, so absolutely devastating to their empire that they'd rather pay 7 figures than face you for one more day. That's not a death sentence. That's a valuation. And now everyone knows. Every street, every corner, every shadow whispers your worth. $1 million. Do you understand what kind of fear you have to inspire for someone to write that check? What kind of impact you must have made for them to reach that deep into their vaults? You didn't just make enemies, you became the economy of revenge. Let me break down the mathematics of terror for you. When they said 1 million, they revealed their entire hand. See, 100,000 says you're a problem. 500,000 says you're a threat. But 1 million? 1 million says you're the apocalypse walking in designer shoes. 1 million says you've already won, and they're just trying to minimize the damage. Think about it. How many people could they buy for that money? How many problems could they solve? How many mouths could they silence? But instead, they allocated an entire fortune to your deletion. That's not business anymore. That's personal. That's primal. That's the kind of fear that keeps them awake at 3 a.m., checking locks, jumping at shadows, seeing your face in their nightmares. You transcended from person to phenomenon, from enemy to existential crisis. They're not trying to kill you anymore. They're trying to kill what you represent, the walking proof that their system can be broken, the living evidence that someone can rise from their games not just intact, but evolved, transformed, unstoppable. But here's the beautiful irony they missed. By putting that price on your head, they just made you the most valuable person in their world. They turned you into a legend before you even had to die. They wrote your myth in currency. And now everyone who hears about it knows one thing for certain. Whatever you did to earn that $1 million deletion fee, it must have been magnificent. Now watch what happens next. Because you're not the same person who woke up this morning. The moment you learned about that $1 million marker, something shifted. Your posture changed. Your walk got heavier, your smile got sharper, because now you know exactly what you're worth in the currency of fear. And it's time to adjust your prices accordingly. You think they expected you to run, to hide, to beg for mercy or negotiate for your life? No, my friend. You did something they never saw coming. You raised your rates. If they want to play this game, if they want to put you on the market, then let's talk about inflation. Let's discuss interest. Let's calculate the compound growth of terror. Because if it costs $1 million to touch you today, tomorrow it's 10 million. Next week, 100 million. You're not depreciating in value. You're growing exponentially. Every day you survive, every hour you thrive, every moment you refuse to disappear, that price tag multiplies. You're not just expensive to eliminate. You're becoming economically impossible to erase. They turned you into an investment opportunity in reverse. The longer they wait, the more impossible you become. The more they hesitate, the higher your stock rises. You're the only asset in history that gains value by being hunted. The only commodity that becomes more precious the more they try to destroy it. Oh, but let's talk about those records, shall we? The ones that already list you as deceased. The files that were updated before the trigger was even pulled. The obituary written in advance, just waiting for a date. They're so confident, aren't they? so sure that their money will manifest your mortality. But they forgot one crucial detail. You can't kill something that's already transcended death. You can't bury someone who's already risen from every grave they tried to dig. Those records saying you're dead, they're not predictions. They're admissions of defeat. They're acknowledging that the version of you they could understand, control, manipulate, that person is already gone. What remains isn't something that can be touched by bullets or bought with bounties. You've become something else entirely. A force, a frequency, a virus in their system that spreads every time they try to delete it. They can update all the records they want. They can file you under terminated in every database. But reality has a way of not giving a damn about paperwork. Because here's what those record keepers don't understand. Every time someone whispers about the $1 million ghost, every time someone questions why you're worth so much dead, every time someone wonders what you did to earn that price, you multiply. You're not one person anymore. You're an idea. And ideas, my friend, are bulletproof. Let's talk about what that $1 million really bought them. Not your death, not your silence, not your disappearance. No, they purchased the most expensive marketing campaign in underground history. They put up a billboard in every criminal's mind that says, "This person is so powerful, we'll pay you a fortune just to make them stop existing." Do you realize what kind of advertising that is? Every hustler, every killer, every mercenary in the game now knows your name. Not as a target, but as a standard. You've become the benchmark for what it means to be truly dangerous. The platinum standard of people who should not be crossed. The gold medal in making powerful people desperate. And here's the twist that's going to haunt them forever. Every person who comes for that million, every hunter who thinks they can collect, they have to get close enough to try. And when they do, when they look into your eyes and see what $1 million problem looks like up close, something changes. They realize they're not hunting prey. They're approaching a predator who's been pretending to be hunted. Some will retreat. Some will switch sides. Some will simply disappear, adding to your legend. Because when you meet someone worth $1 million dead, you have to ask yourself, what are they worth alive? What kind of power could you access by aligning with them instead of opposing them? That's the calculation they didn't factor into their bounty. You're not just expensive to kill, you're invaluable to keep alive. Now let me tell you what happens when word spreads about $1 million hit. It doesn't create one hunter, it creates an ecosystem, but not the ecosystem they expected. See, for every person who wants to collect, there are 10 who want to study you. For every gun pointed your way, there are 20 eyes trying to understand how someone becomes worth that much dead. You've become a masterclass in power accumulation. A walking dissertation on how to matter so much that your absence is worth more than most people's entire existence. Young hustlers aren't looking at that bounty, thinking about collection. They're thinking about replication. How do I become worth that much? How do I matter that intensely? How do I transform from disposable to indispensable to worth $1 million dead? The bounty didn't mark you for death. It marked you as the professor of a curriculum they never wanted taught. Every day you survive is another lesson in how to become unexpendable. Every appearance you make is a seminar in significance. Every word you speak is archived by those who understand that you're not the hunted. You're the teacher, and class is permanently in session. And the beautiful part? They can't take it back. They can't unprice you. They can't suddenly declare you worthless after announcing your 7-figure value. They've committed to your legend. They've invested in your myth. They've become the primary stakeholders in the very thing they were trying to end. Let's discuss the interest on this investment they've made in your elimination. Because every day that million sits uncollected, it grows. Not just in dollar amount, but in what it represents. Day 1, you're worth $1 million dead. Day 30, that's $1 million plus 30 days of survival interest. Day 100, that's exponential growth in the mythology market. You're accumulating compound interest in the fear economy. Every sunrise you see adds another 0 to your intangible value. Every sunset they fail to collect on compounds their failure. You're not just surviving, you're generating profit on their desperation. You're the only person in history getting rich off your own death warrant. They thought they were setting a price. They were actually setting a timer on their own relevance. Because what happens when $1 million bounty goes uncollected for a year, 2 years, 5? It stops being about you and starts being about them. About their impotence, about their failure to execute even with unlimited resources, about how you've made them look like children playing with Monopoly money. If you found her, and you were brave enough, you might beat the cops, or call for help with deadly weapons, or kill with malice. The real price isn't what they're willing to pay to see you gone. It's what it's costing them every day you remain. Their credibility draining, their power evaporating, their control slipping through fingers that can write checks but can't cash in on promises. You're not just expensive to kill. You're bankrupting them by breathing. But here's where it gets interesting. Because you're not just surviving under this economy of violence, you're creating a new one, an economy where your existence is the currency, where your movements are the market fluctuations, where your decisions are the Federal Reserve of the underworld. You've become the gold standard of untouchability. People don't trade in dollars anymore when your name comes up. They trade in proximity. How close can you get? How much access do you have? How many degrees of separation exist between them and the $1 million phenomenon? You've created a new cryptocurrency, and it's backed by the full faith and credit of their fear. Those who align with you aren't just allies. They're investors in the future of power. Those who oppose you aren't just enemies. They're shorts betting against a stock that only goes up. Every interaction is a transaction. Every relationship is a portfolio adjustment. Every word you speak is a market movement that sends ripples through their entire system. You've disrupted their entire ecosystem just by refusing to die on schedule. You've created inflation in the assassination market. If you're worth $1 million, what's everyone else worth? Pennies? Pocket change? You've made everyone else seem affordable, disposable, discount. You're the luxury item in the murder marketplace, and everything else just became dollar store. Now let's talk about what that $1 million really is. It's not a bounty. It's an insurance policy. They're not paying for your death. They're paying for their peace of mind. They're trying to purchase the ability to sleep at night, to walk without checking shadows, to exist without feeling your presence in every room, even the ones you've never entered. But here's the problem with their policy. You're uninsurable. You're the act of nature that no underwriter will cover, the pre-existing condition that voids every contract. They can't buy protection from something that exists beyond their comprehension. They can't hedge against a risk they can't calculate. You're the market crash they never saw coming, and no amount of money can bail them out. Every dollar in that bounty is a dollar admitting their vulnerability. Every cent is a confession of how much power you hold over their reality. They're not trying to buy your death. They're trying to buy back their confidence, their comfort, their illusion of control. But you can't purchase what someone else has already destroyed. You can't buy back innocence. You can't invoice for ignorance. The $1 million is their way of trying to crowdfund their courage, but courage isn't for sale, and neither are you. You're not a problem money can solve. You're a reality money just makes more complicated, because now everyone knows exactly how much you're worth to them, dead, which means everyone also knows how much power you must have, alive. Let me paint you a picture of every person who's considered collecting that $1 million. They sit in dark rooms, staring at your photo, running calculations that never quite add up. $1 million sounds like a lot, until they factor in what it takes to earn it. The preparation, the risk, the reality of facing someone worth that much dead. They research you, study your patterns, try to find the weakness that $1 million price tag suggests doesn't exist. And the more they learn, the more a terrible realization creeps in. You're not worth $1 million. because you're vulnerable. You're worth $1 million because you're inevitable, because removing you would require resources, skills, and luck that money can't buy. Some do the math and realize that surviving the attempt would cost more than the reward. Others understand that even success would paint a target on their back worth twice what yours was. Because if you're worth $1 million, what's the person who managed to collect worth? They'd become the new $1 million problem, the next mythical figure, the sequel to your story. The smartest ones, though, they see the real truth. That bounty isn't a paycheck. It's a trap. It's cheese in a maze designed to catch those stupid enough to think you're catchable. It's natural selection with a price tag. It's evolution sponsored by your enemies, weeding out anyone dumb enough to try. Your value isn't static. It's appreciating at a rate that would make Wall Street weep. Every failed attempt adds a multiplier. Every day of continued existence adds interest. Every move you make that they can't predict adds a premium. You're not just worth $1 million anymore. You're worth $1 million plus whatever it costs them to admit failure. Think about the meetings they must have. The conversations where someone has to explain why the $1 million solution hasn't been implemented. The PowerPoints trying to justify why their problem is still breathing. The spreadsheets calculating the cost of your continued existence versus the cost of escalation. You're causing inflation in their entire violence economy. Soon, $1 million won't be enough. Someone will suggest $2 million, then 5, then 10, not because you've become more dangerous, but because their desperation has become more expensive. They're bidding against their own fear now, competing with their own imagination, trying to outprice their own nightmares. But here's the beautiful truth they'll never admit. No amount will ever be enough. Because you can't put a price on what you represent. You can't quantify the cost of someone who broke their system. You can't calculate the value of proof that their power has limits. You're not expensive. You're priceless. And they know it. So now we establish the new rules of engagement. If they want to play the price tag game, let's play it properly. Your consultation fee? $10 million. Your attention? $50 million. Your forgiveness? There isn't enough money printed to cover that invoice. You've entered the realm where numbers stop making sense and start becoming poetry. Every interaction now comes with a cost they can't afford. Every word you speak depletes their reserves. Every breath you take is billable at rates that would bankrupt nations. You're not living. You're conducting the most expensive performance art piece in history. Every day is a sold-out show where the ticket price is their sanity. They wanted to reduce you to a number. Instead, you've reduced their numbers to meaninglessness. What's $1 million to someone who cost them billions in lost sleep? What's a bounty to someone who's become the bank? You're not playing by their economic rules anymore. You're writing new ones. In blood, in fear, in the inflation of their desperation. The new rule is simple. The more they're willing to pay to end you, the more it costs them to continue trying. Every dollar allocated to your deletion is a dollar admitting your victory. Every resource spent on your removal is a resource that multiplies your worth. They're not hunting you. They're marketing you. They're not pricing your death. They're advertising your immortality. Let's examine why that $1 million will never be collected. It's not about the difficulty of the task. It's about the impossibility of the outcome. You can't collect on something that transforms the moment you touch it. You can't cash a check written on an account that exists in another dimension. You can't deposit fear into a bank that only accepts courage. Everyone who's tried has discovered the same thing. You're not where they expect you to be. Not physically, not mentally, not spiritually. You exist in the spaces between their understanding. You move through realities they can't access with bullets or bank transfers. You're the quantum uncertainty principle wearing skin. And observation doesn't collapse your wave function. It multiplies it. The $1 million is monopoly money in a game where you've already flipped the board. It's cryptocurrency in a market you've already crashed. It's an IOU written in disappearing ink on paper that burns at your touch. They might as well be offering a million dreams, a million wishes, a million prayers, to whatever cosmic force they think might be listening. But the universe doesn't accept bribes, and neither do you. You're not for sale, rent, or lease. You're not a problem with a solution that fits in a briefcase. You're not an equation that balances with enough zeros. You're the error message in their system that no amount of rebooting can fix. You're the blue screen of death in their reality, and they're still trying to Control-Alt-Delete their way out of accepting it. Now let's talk about what you've really built here. Not just a reputation, not just a legend. You've built a legacy that comes with compound interest. Every story about the $1 million bounty adds to your mythology. Every whispered conversation about why you're worth so much dead increases your value alive. You're accumulating generational wealth in the economy of fear. Your name will outlive their money. Your story will outlast their systems. The $1 million ghost will be discussed in hushed tones long after the people who placed the bounty have become footnotes. You've achieved something money can't buy, immortality through valuation. You're the Mona Lisa of the underworld, priceless and impossible to possess. Future generations will study the economics of your existence. Business schools will teach courses on how one person disrupted an entire ecosystem just by refusing to depreciate. Psychology textbooks will reference the $1 million paradox, how putting a price on someone's death only increased their power over life. You've become the standard by which all future threats will be measured, not in dollars, but in the percentage of you they represent. There may be 10% as dangerous as the $1 million ghost. They might be worth half what that legend was worth. You're the unit of measurement in the new economy of power, and inflation only goes one direction. So here we are, at the end of this little economics lesson. They put $1 million price on your head, and you turned it into a crown worth infinitely more. They declared you dead in their records, and you declared yourself eternal in reality. They tried to make you a transaction, and you became the entire economy. The final invoice reads like this: $1 million for your death, $10 million for the attempt, $100 million for the failure, $1 billion for the realization that they've made you immortal, and priceless for the understanding that they've created exactly what they feared most, someone beyond their reach, beyond their comprehension, beyond their price range. You're not the $1 million target anymore. You're the $1 trillion lesson, the $quadrillion reality check, the infinite value proof that some things can't be bought, sold, or erased with enough zeros. You're the economic impossibility that exists anyway, the market anomaly that became the market itself. So let them keep their million. Let them add zeros until their calculators break. Let them update their records and pretend you're already gone. Because you and I both know the truth. You're not just alive, you're appreciating in value with every breath. You're generating interest with every heartbeat. You're the bull market in the economy of existence. And baby, you're never going to crash. Welcome to your new tax bracket. Population, you. The only currency accepted here is fear, and you're the Federal Reserve. The only law that applies is the law of exponential growth, and you're writing the legislation. They wanted to put a price on your head? Congratulations. You just became priceless.